Hi YouTube.
Hey YouTube friends and family, it's your boy GB Reviews, and today I am doing a video to show you guys how to make corned beef and cabbage in the, not Instapot, in the crock pot. I did a video a while ago about how to make an Instapot. It came out really well. It was done very quickly. This is a different video just to show you kind of the versatility of the crock pot. I know that now people are trying to do more home cooking and doing things to conserve their food. And one of the things that I can tell you that is on sale now is St. Patrick's Day just ended, and there's a lot of corned beef in the not in restaurants, in the grocery stores. So corned beef is a good staple, and it's something that I like, and I think you'll like it too. And it's easy to make, and you can do corned beef and cabbage. So I'm gonna do corned beef and cabbage. I'm gonna show you what it's like, show you how to make it in terms of prepping it, talk about some of the time that it takes to do it, and then I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Mind you that it will take somewhere between 4 and 5 hours for us to finish this, but you will see. All right, let's go. So the first thing you have to do is, you don't have to do anything but wash your carrots and your potatoes. So I'm washing carrots and potatoes, and I am putting them in the bottom of the crock pot. And your meat is actually gonna sit and rest on the top of your crock pot. So you're gonna just drop them in the crock pot just like this, not do anything else. There's a little bit of seasoning on there, but that's it. And then we're gonna look at the meat. So here's my, this is I think 2 pounds of corned beef. And so corned beef is a process where they kind of slightly salt the meat so it'll have a slightly salted taste. And then I've seasoned this. This is 2 pounds of beef, and it's kind of the corned beef cut. I seasoned it, salt and pepper, and then all the corned beef packets that you buy in the store will come with corned beef seasoning. There's a specific, I'll show you closely, but there's a specific kind of corned beef seasoning that they have. And then you're gonna put that on the top. And then I'm gonna cut an onion to put in there with that. But we're gonna drop this in the pot, and I'll show you what I mean in terms of saying it rests on top of the potatoes and the carrots. So if you see what I just did, it just basically rests on top of there. I'm gonna cut up the onions. I'm gonna put the onions around the corned beef and cabbage. And then that is going to, while it cooks, the meat will cook slowly, the potatoes will cook, the carrots will cook, and then all of that, the juices, and we're gonna put a little bit of water, probably half a cup of water in there, so that the potatoes and the carrots aren't sitting directly on the bottom of this case. Actually, your meat will draw a certain amount of water, but you want to make sure that you are putting a little bit of water in there. So I'm gonna put about a half a cup to a cup of water, probably a cup of water in there, and with the onions, and then we're gonna put a lid on it, and then we're gonna set the crock pot timer for 4.5 hours, and we're gonna let that cook. So I diced my onions. The thing I would say is I should have sharpened my knife first, because it's harder to dice any type of vegetable without diced onion. I mean, without a sharpened knife, but I diced my onions, and so we're gonna dump that in there to add seasoning to the whole corned beef concoction. And then you'll see when I add the cabbage afterwards. So I ended up adding 1.5 cups of water, only to get the water level. If you can see in there, the water is like right up to the level of the vegetables inside there. So this will all cook down, and like I said, the meat will make extra water or extra juice for this whole thing. And then once you put the cabbage in, that'll actually make even more juice for the corned beef and cabbage, just because cabbage has a high water content. So that's it. We're gonna set the timer, and then we're gonna be good to go. So we're gonna set this slow cooker time, and I'm setting it for 4.5 hours. And then you don't have to do anything else. And then I think that's it. Let's see. We're gonna do high for 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and it's just gonna start. And the nice part about the slow cooker versus the pressure cooker is I can add stuff into the top at any time after this starts. So this is gonna start cooking. This timer will start to slowly go down. I don't have to do anything else to turn it on. It's actually on, set to high. And then you'll see as we progress, it'll go from 430 to 429, and then at about 4 hours, and when there's about 20 minutes left, then that's when I'm gonna add the cabbage.
3 hours later.
All right, so now we're 4 hours in the future. We are going to cut some cabbage up for, I don't know, if you've never cooked cabbage, you peel off the outer layers. Typically those are the layers that may have been exposed to any types of pesticides and things like that. So I'm peeling off the outer layers right now, and then I'm gonna cut it. I'm only gonna use, I think, half of this cabbage. I don't even really need to use that much, just because it makes a lot. So we're gonna, this knife, again, I'm dealing with the unsharp knife. That back, you're gonna cut that off. Done. Throw that in the sink. And then you just cut it down the middle. And the nice part about cabbage is it's similar to lettuce in terms of it's easy to cut, but it's very different. So don't try to eat lettuce or cabbage as lettuce, or vice versa. If you cook lettuce, it just definitely doesn't come out the same. So again, we're cutting off some of the dirty edges, and then we're just gonna shred it. You don't need to shred it a lot because we are just throwing this on top of the, we're throwing on top of the corned beef for 15 minutes. And I'm not gonna even use all this. I'm just gonna use one more chunk, which is about maybe like an inch to like your first digit of your finger. And then we're gonna cut that up. And then we're gonna throw it on top. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like when we throw it on top of the corned beef. And then you're gonna cook that for 15 minutes. So remember, 15 minutes. All right, let's go. As you can see, I just put it right on top. I mean, I separated a few pieces just because, but when it cooks down, you put your lid back on top, and then you're gonna let it cook for, well, this one will probably be 20 minutes, but once it's done, the cabbage will actually cook down, and then it'll be ready to go. So I'll come back to you in the next 20 minutes, and then we'll see what the final product is.
20 minutes later.
All right, so my corned beef and cabbage is done. As you can see, I like my cabbage a little bit harder, but if you cook it longer, your cabbage will be soft. I mean, soft enough, obviously, to eat. Like, see, it's pliable. I tasted it already. It's actually quite good. But now we're gonna pull it out so you can see what the meat looks like. And that fogging up with the screen is the steam coming off. But I'm gonna pull it out. We'll cut the corned beef. I'll show you how tender it is, and then show you that the cabbage and the carrots and the potatoes are all cooked through. So, all right. Now, you remember that I started with 2.5 pounds of corned beef, right? Well, this is the result of the corned beef after it's cooked. Remember how big it was? Well, it's smaller now. But we're gonna slice into it. And look at that. Perfect corned beef. And it slices so easily. Remember I told you this knife is like dull, but if you notice, look how I'm slicing into it. This is perfect. Let's see what the taste came out like. And again, that was 4 hours. That's awesome. Nice and tender and cooked the way I want it. Now let's check these potatoes out. 4 hours of cooking potatoes. Look at that. Carrots. Remember, dull knife. Super soft. Amazing. So again, when you're at home it's the perfect time to try out new recipes. My cabbage is perfect. Like, this is my perfect St. Patrick's Day meal, but because of the current situation, my St. Patrick's Day got kind of derailed. So I'm gonna have St. Patrick's Day at once a week. I'm gonna make corned beef every week. That's amazing. Super easy. It's something that you can do in the house. Again, corned beef, potatoes, cabbage, carrots, and onion. You throw it in there and it's seasoned perfectly. Salt and pepper, and then use the, most corned beef, if you buy in the store, comes with the seasoning packet. If you don't like peppery stuff, like not super hot peppery, but some people don't even like pepper, you may wanna hold off because it's like fresh peppers that you're putting from the seasoning packet. But oh, perfect. Definitely impressed. Anyway, hit me down in the comments. Hit the like button for the algorithm. Please subscribe, like below, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you tried it, if you like corned beef. I'm gonna, over the next couple of weeks, I'll probably do some more cooking things just because, GB reviews everything. And I'm reviewing the Crock Pot. Awesome. And especially since we have a lot of time at home. So anyway, it's your boy GB Reviews. Catch me next time. Subscribe and like below.
Subscribe right below.